What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Shred Sessions. I am here with Atlanta's very own premier shred gaze guitar player, Mr. Sen'am Palmer. We go back a long ways, at least over 10 years. Yeah, the crowd goes wild, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to have you on since the inception of this show just because you're a homie and you're just fun to talk to about guitar stuff. And we're going to try to hit some guitar topics in our little discussion here, but this is a little bit of an impromptu episode, but I thought it would be cool to chill with you, man. But man, catch me up with what's been going on with you since the summertime. I saw you at the Humanity's Last Breath, Angel Maker show. Psycho Frame was there too. I'm trying to remember what the last band was, but yeah, dude, how have you been since then, man?
That was Psycho Frame. Oh man. Yeah, that was Psycho Frame. Badass band. I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I guess like anything that's been more in like a working kind of thing for music, especially. I upped and fucked around and joined a punk band.
That's sick.
which kind of sounds unconventional, I guess, to a degree, but who cares? It's all music. It's called Scattrbrain without the E in scatter. So like we it kind of like it was a thing prior to me joining. This was like a brand new project. It's fronted by this rapper. His name's Grip. He used to work with dudes like Eminem and like people like that in that kind of like sphere, and other people within the industry as well. But his taste and direction kind of steered more into this performance-based thing, and which is, there's a lot of firsts for him, but the people at the helm kind of guiding this album and creating the album, I have more than enough trust and faith with, of which it was two dudes at the session. This studio called Big Trouble in Little 5 Points in Atlanta. That's like East Atlanta, and it's a homie of mine named TJ. I forget his last name because it's fucking long in Greek, and other homie Dan Gleason, and Dan plays bass in a pop ensemble called Group Love. And I don't know if
not super familiar.
Metalheads probably don't. Yeah. Like they're really cool. They're really, really cool. I mean, my semblance with them, or is like they play big shows for sure. Like play like festivals. I forget what the festival they're about to play with in more recent things. The months is going to happen. I think the day that they're playing is a Caged Elephant headliner.
Whoa.
So it kind of shows like the adjacentness of how big they kind of been around for a minute, and they've been doing their thing for well over a decade. But Dan's more or less a recent member, and their drummer Ben, who is also a part of the record, is part of the live ensemble until I guess Group Love has to do. But
that's Scattrbrain, right? Is what you're talking about? Someone that's in Group Love plays with you guys in Scattrbrain.
Yeah, and then the guitarist as well. Another guitarist by the name of Josh, but his project locally, his stage name is Mallbangs. So he did all the guitars next to Dan on the record. And Dan played bass, Ben played drums, TJ and them did all these other, and I guess Dan as well too, did also additional electronics, interludes, whatever the hell the case may be, soundscapes. And all I did was maybe one little lead line in another song and a solo to outro out the album. So they hit me up for the solo. I just did that one session. We just did a bunch of little solos. They cut up the best takes and then kind of pieced them all together. And it formed into hopefully a not so cringe solo when the record dropped. We'll see, man. As long as it just, as long as it's phrased the way I would like it. I mean, which I heard the record. Yeah. I heard, I do like the solo on playback, but like, you always just wonder what the hell is the end result of certain things, because Van Halen did the same thing. But then it's like, oh shit, maybe he has to relearn it. But in my case, no.
When does it come
like,
out, dude?
hopefully February,
so early next year.
Hopefully. Yeah, early next year for sure. We have a headlining show at this one venue called Drunken Unicorn in March 19th, I believe. But we played a show in November with Manchester Orchestra for the Stuffing. Like, I don't know if you listen to Manchester, but
I'm familiar with them.
You know,
I don't listen to them, but I know you've been a fan of them for a long time, right?
It's kind of funny because, like, coming from where I was at, I wasn't really into them like that. But like in the more recent years, just by these associations, and you grow up. But like, you know, next to growing up and just listening to more things and not being pretentious about whatever, it's like, oh yeah, dude, this is killer songwriting. Like I saw them the first time in like this local venue called the Earl, which is like relatively smaller, like a lot smaller. But it was in celebration for this one album they released a decade ago. I mean, this band's played like Red Rocks and shit with like Incubus. But like seeing them in this tiny room, like, dude,
that's cool, man. Dude, so
but yeah, that's the more recent endeavor. So that's been kind of on my plate.
Cool,
as of
man. Lately. Are you guys planning on touring or just playing more local shows for now in Atlanta?
I hope so. I hope there's more. I think there's prospects for touring. So when that drops, it drops. If not, then hopefully regional one-offs or something, you know, just something to get out there.
Well, dude, I want to tell people how I first met you, man, and it was from I think we just became internet acquaintances, but you were in a band called Crispin Wah, which was this thing called, you know, basically a shred gaze thing. You kind of created your own genre where it's like shoegaze and shredding, and it was something that was so unique that I don't think anybody had really heard of before, man. But you did like kind of a solo set for that project with my old band Mirror way back in I want to say this was 2015 or something like that, and we played at Springwater. Do you remember that?
I think so. Dude, that show was awesome. First off, I still think about
Mars
like
too, right?
I mean,
those guys.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Love those guys.
Well, it's like, because like I wasn't even doing like the Crispin. I mean, maybe there was things that were like building up. I guess we met in like, or like me and the Wah dudes met in like 2014 or something like that. Something weird like that. And then I did that tour. That was like early 2015, I think. Because I think I did another tour that following year doing something else. But yeah, that show was like that tour in general was like the only time I ever did like a thing for like solo loop guitar stuff. And it wasn't even like anything that was Wah related.
It wasn't. Okay. So
yeah, it was just, I mean, it seems like it was a predecessor, because the dude that played, the other guitarist in Crispin Wah, Justin, his name's Justin Tolan, also goes by Monochrome Sweatsuit. And he has a bunch of music out as well, next to the Wah stuff. But he used to live in Charleston, and he also went to Berkeley. He was the one I knew, because we were talking earlier, he's the guy that introduced me to Christian
Colabelli, the Shred Sessions co-host, and that was funny.
Yeah.
Like before we started recording, you were talking about him a little bit. How did you get to know Christian?
Oh man, through Justin, because like Christian used to be in a band called Boy Meets Machine, and just sent like just street team shit or whatever. Like, so like when street teams kind of more were active.
Dude, that's a long time ago. So we're talking like MySpace era, like street, like.
Dude, it was MySpace era. Yeah, it was
like the band account, and then you have a street team account or something like that, where it would be more fan run.
Yeah.
I don't even remember much of that, man. Like,
yeah, it was like MySpace ish, like like
Facebook.
early Facebook, whatever,
That was when, if
but
you had a
like
band Facebook account and you made a post, everyone that followed that band account would see the post. You know what I'm talking about, man?
dude,
Yeah.
natural reach.
Organic.
Dude, we could talk all day about that kind of stuff because 2011 is like my summer of '69 to somebody, but like, but like 2011 and those times are like beforehand where natural reach was super effective. So every band that was like, oh hey, for fans of, they eat at the same table.
Yes.
We promote, like everybody. That's what created a great early internet fucking guitar diaspora, fucking because like it was because we're talking about Trees on Mars people, right? And like, I mean, Scott, who played drums, he on his old SoundClick, he used to do vocal tracks to old Pliny songs when he was like, I guess when Pliny was still doing the Halcyon stuff. If you vaguely remember that project.
No, I don't know what was before Pliny. I just know that he did everything on like a laptop with a one interface, like single channel interface.
Halcyon still might be up on like Bandcamp at least, but like that was like some of the early old stuff. And even dudes like Scott, he was like knee deep into all that cool stuff, like Periphery, Intervals, Contortionist, Corellia, Chimp Spanner, all that guitar, new age, new nerd fuckery that just going down, like so much off the left rib of bands like fucking Sixth and stuff like that, and whatever, just in Meshuggah, I guess.
Yeah, it was an exciting time for the internet. Like, the organic reach on Facebook was unmatched. And the same thing with like Instagram. Like, you would keep scrolling and you would see every post from all the people that you followed, and then like when you got to the bottom of it, you saw it was like, hey, you've seen everything. Come back later when there's more posts.
Yeah, right.
Like that, right.
God, endless. But yeah, no. So much music to just go over. If we're gonna keep on talking about music and never play it in one note.
Man, I guess if we're holding guitars, we should talk guitar stuff, bro. So yeah, like you texted me like a few days ago and I posted like a practice video. I was playing some like melodic minor stuff over dominant chords. And like, look, I don't pretend to be the master of that, but I have been working on that stuff for a while and then kind of got back into it more recently, just improvising. But yeah, man, like what questions do you have like related to that?
A lot of that stuff like always trips me up because like I feel like a lot of that stuff is like very much a timing thing. Like how do you like just knowing where you're at on the fretboard to then switch, because it's kind of like key changing to a degree. But like just knowing cerebrally, like okay, I'm right here, and then I'm now I hear this chord coming up. I obviously can cycle through these notes, but more or less just the placement and just knowing where and what you can do and what scale is the thing that you kind of work off in your head to then jump and lily pad to go to other scales or motifs or whatever the case may be.
So I can help with that, and I can pull up like a backing track. Like a good place to start is with like a 2-chord vamp. Like I think I sent you like the Nile Rodgers thing where we were playing and I can pull up this track in a second, but it's like C minor, C minor 9. To like a G7 altered chord. Can you hear that? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a good it's like a 1 to a 5, right? Something like that, right? So over that altered chord, that G7 altered chord, you can do a lot of different things with the melodic minor scale. The thing that I was working on in that clip that I posted was playing A flat melodic minor. So over that G7 chord, if you go up a half step, you just play the melodic minor scale. Okay, so the melodic minor scale it's a minor scale that ends major. So how I think of it is basically.
Also, with that being said, as well, not to interrupt you super hard, but I somehow do have a better time. Like, for whatever given reason, I think it's just because of the fingerings of it. I have a better time remembering melodic minor than I do harmonic minor, which, I mean, you know, whatever, I guess. But like, I just don't know. It's like if you put it on a chord chart, like, it's tonic like functions and stuff like that. I'm still working on that with like major tonalities, no doubt. But like with melodic stuff, it's really just like I get super lost. So I personally also need to learn and remember what those scales are and those chords are just as much as I remember like my mode names and whatever.
So I'll explain it to you, man. Like, I don't know, we're starting like to play over G7, we're starting with A flat melodic minor, which is kind of a harder one to get into, but just think of A flat minor. Okay, to make it harmonic minor, we got to do a sharp 7. Well, I play. So that's harmonic minor. Melodic minor is a sharp 6 and a sharp 7 to a normal minor scale. So I don't know if that helps, but I like to explain as many pathways to people as possible. So,
because the thing is, guitarists get taught, or so I feel, guitarists also get taught kind of like, not really piss poorly, but like it like relationships and like people telling you like, oh hey, like here's a chord scale. Here's those intervallic relationships, you know, whether I'm saying whole, half, whole, whatever, you know, that, you know, when I shift it, it creates this function. What can you do in this function and what relates in this function? If people tell guitarists that kind of thing instead of just being like, here's a G chord, here's a C chord, here's an A, whatever, these basic shapes and bar shapes, then it would build that neuropathy of relationships instead of it just being, hey, here's a muscle memory.
Yeah, and dude, because a lot of people, a lot of guitar players especially, they just have muscle memory licks that they play over an altered chord, that they just memorize the thing. And that's what Christian...
I'm guilty.
That's what Christian does,
you know,
because like you really don't have time to play entire scales over that chord. That chord is going to hit for just a second.
It's so especially when it's a passing tone.
Right.
If you treat it as a passing thing, like it can get like, okay, shit, like in the spotlight, you know, it's kind of like when you hear a diminished thing over that like 5 chord, and it's like, okay, how do you resolve?
Yeah, well, that's another thing. You could just play half whole diminish starting on the root of G7. You could play all of those notes if you want. That's going to sound kind of ridiculous, but you could
that's just cool shit to me too.
You know, you could just play a diminished arpeggio. You know, you could play that over G7 altered if you wanted to, right? So what I would suggest doing is learn all of the triads and arpeggios of melodic minor, and then any of those triads or arpeggios will work over the G7 altered. So you could play an A flat minor triad, you know, you could technically, you could play that over, you know, you can hear how that would make sense, right? So you could play an A flat minor triad over over that altered chord. So the triads of melodic minor are minor, minor augmented, major. So 1 would be minor, 2 would be minor as well. right? The third one is augmented. The fourth one is major. The fifth is major. The sixth is diminished.
Augmented is major, right?
Two major thirds stacked on top of each other, right? Right. So it's like minor, minor, augmented, major, major, diminished, diminished, and you can just like look. Like, if you don't know like something, you can also just ask Chat GPT too. Some of the stuff, like what are the,
I am trying my damnness to not
I know, and people cringe when I say that, but it's just like, dude, it just, you could do a quick Google search and be like, what are the triads of melodic minor in the key of C?
Oh,
you know, like, what are the seventh chord arpeggios for melodic minor? So just to get to the information a lot quicker, and that's something that you couldn't really do back in the day. So what I would do is learn all of those. You could do the triadic arpeggios, and then you know, like there's that one, and then major. So
what I always do a lot, just to kind of fuck around and freshen up my whatever, I always do like what's it called? You know, arpeggiate a chord scale.
Yeah.
And that helps me a lot better with knowing my placement compared to just being super clueless about whatever. So like, let's see.
100%, man.
So like starting on C, you know, like, and I, you know, whatever tendencies, maybe make it a 3-1-3, 2-1-2, whatever. Or I always, if I make it a 3-1-3, sometimes in the middle, I fucking add a 9 just to kind of help with that. Like if I'm going to be picking that much, you know?
Yeah. That sounds awesome, man. Okay, so do that. Can you play an A flat minor major 7 arpeggio?
Minor major? Oh man, see, like those type of things. I actually, okay, that also being said too, I've been picking up a lot of Tim Miller 2-1-2 arpeggio exercises. So I've been trying to get better about things like that.
That stuff is great, but I would just start with like 7th chord arpeggios. So like if you want to turn it into a 3-1-3, like, you know, you know, so it's just like a vertical arpeggio. Or you could you know, make it a 7-1-3-5 arpeggio, like that works really well with pentatonic, right? So you play like G, A flat, B, E flat. So you play that over an altered chord, you know, and it sounds pretty hip, right? So it's just up a half step, or starting on the root, you do that minor major 7, which is almost like a minor 7 arpeggio, but you just sharp the play that. You just do it up the octave, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
it is.
Like if you're up here, you know, that's like an arch spire, like that's like in Golden Mouth of Ruin. That like you could play something like that, right? That would sound hip over G7 altered, right? So just like the 3-1-3 thing is sick, but you kind of got to be careful with that. If you haven't practiced 3-1-3s in melodic minor, you're probably gonna run into some problems. So just like you would practice 3-1-3s in like a major scale, you know, or 1-3-1. You would just do that in melodic minor, right? So yeah,
because I guess it's just me learning like how to arpeggiate certain things in those kind of scales and those like whatever. It's just instead of it just being only major, major tonalities and whatnot. Because as I said, I've been like looking at these Tim Miller things like
he's a great resource, man. So like you were talking about how like it's almost like you were saying like it's almost like key changing in the middle of like a song, right? And it is kind of like that. So what you want to do is just map out a part of the neck. So let's say we're down here and like we're going C minor to G7 altered, right? And if I put that on C minor, if you just search C minor Nile Rodgers funk, you'll get this video that comes up. And I'll skip ahead and I'll play for a second and then maybe you can. Okay, hopefully.
Yeah.
That sounds okay.
I can hear that clear. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Whoop. A flat minor, arpeggio, right? So you see what I'm talking about, man? Like you just play C minor arpeggios over the C minor chord, and then play A flat minor arpeggios over the G7 altered chord.
I think let me see if I can whip this up on my end real quick.
Put it on, man.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Rip it.
Okay, there we go.
like okay, so,
it's kind of like
sick, man. No,
yeah, go ahead.
What I was gonna say, like, is just you would just have to learn maybe a couple more arpeggios. Like another one would be like, okay, you got C minor here, you know, and then right next to it is that B major 7 sharp 5 arpeggio. So play a major 7 arpeggio, but then put a sharp 5 in there, which would be A flat. Oh, I'm sorry. Put a G in there. So you got B, D sharp.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You said major 7 sharp 5.
Yeah, so that's the third arpeggio in the series of A flat melodic minor. There it is. Yeah, dude, play that over G7 altered. That's my favorite. That's my secret. You know.
Because like that's kind of one of some of the things. Like it's like I just really emphasizing, I guess, attack notes and like whatever color tones and all the other good stuff. Yeah, like I just need to do better about looking at that and like kind of putting a cerebral committance to that. Which I mean, you know.
Yeah. So here's
I always practice, but you know, so still.
Like, if I was gonna practice like melodic minor, I would do a couple things. I would just play every, you know, every arpeggio in the series. So it goes down after that B major 7 sharp 5. It's a C sharp dominant, right? All your dominant shit, and then D sharp dominant 7 or Mixolydian. I shouldn't say Mixolydian, that's not going to make any sense, but a D sharp 7 arpeggio, and then F minor 7 flat 5, and then G minor 7 flat 5. All of those arpeggios will work over that altered chord, right?
What was okay? Can you type that?
Yeah.
That chord chart for me, I guess.
Chat?
Yeah, you can. So minor, augmented.
So like A flat minor triads would be A flat minor, B flat minor, B augmented triad, and then it would be like D flat major, E flat major, not major 7, just major, and then F diminished, G diminished, and then A flat melodic minor 7th chord arpeggios would be A flat minor major 7. That's your first one. Then it'd be B flat minor 7, and then it'd be B major 7 sharp 5, and then where does that put us? You're technically supposed to say C flat probably, but I'm not saying C flat, dude. That's B, dog, all day long.
Yeah, no, we're not doing all those semantics.
7, E flat 7, F, half diminished or major 7, or I'm sorry, minor 7 flat 5. That doesn't. F minor 7 flat 5. Gal darn it. Okay. And then G minor 7 flat 5. Now, before I did any of this stuff, I did it the hard way. I memorized the scale in every position, 3 notes per string. You know, I was an idiot.
Oh yeah, dude. No, honestly, saving grace, because like it's 3 note per string ideas and like things help me make a better time to connect than like being like, oh, just apply this, just listen out for this arpeggio somewhere else on the neck, like it gives you a better sense of like what was that, like I don't know, is that related to the cage system? I don't know.
It's not really cage system. I don't really use cage system, man, because everybody else uses it, and those guys make money, and I don't want to make money, so I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't really.
I just want to sound different, like. And I can be a little overly contrarian at times, I'll admit. But Holdsworth didn't use that, He learned scales, But after a while, man, you just come up with your own kind of go-to things, So if I put this on, like I'm sounding like total dog shit right now, but the next thing that I want to do is get more like surrounding tone, and like instead of playing this, right? Instead of playing that, it sounds very like on the nose. You do something like this.
Yeah.
Like just doing that surrounding tones, right?
Yeah, like you feel me on like just trying to like just just slide it in, you
That's
know,
what you
just
said, right? You know,
yeah.
after all.
Hey,
No, I think what you're really saying, Sen'am, is you should play lines, right? You should have some kind of line flow contour
dude,
to the thing you're trying to say,
because
right?
that's like what my playing more or less is kind of like. Just even when I'm fucking around, like there's totally time. Like even today, I was finding myself doing something. I forgot what it was. I feel like an idiot, but like I was just like, I'm gonna end at C right here on the 5th fret, and then end on C over here. But then it links into another thing that's just in its key. You know, something simple as that. You know, whatever you want to do, whether it's like the big Frank Gambale monster lick,
Well, yeah, those
or
guys. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to talk about those guys, I mean, like they're playing like 9-note sequences that they can permutate through a scale, right? You know, like that's the level that those guys are at. Like, Holdsworth did that too. You know,
man,
permutations of the scale, and then go
like
ahead, man. Sorry.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so enthralled. I was like listening to fucking like Paul Gilbert today, like not just like the instrumental shit, but like his fucking like pop stuff, and that shit's you know awesome. But like
It is.
like that one song individually twisted, and he's doing that like crazy fucking just like so it's just like a lot of groupings on that on like whatever he's ripping through. But like if you listen to like just the first like shred lick that he's doing in that song immediately, like you know like the way he already has his own phrasing, but like the way he's just doing it, it's like a drummer to do all those fills, but doing like right on time, in key, whatever in the pocket, and then you know go and then blast off. Here's the rest of the song. But like whether it's in a pop application or a fusion thing, it's still just like knowing what to do and when to do it, and having that fluidity of committing to that like riff or that idea or that phrase. You know, like it just so much.
Well, I think what to your point, like I think what you're saying is like you have to have like certain systems built in so that when things happen in the music or you go to a recording session for a pop song or something like that, you've got what triads are, or if they start to do some kind of like modal mixture, or they start to go into melodic minor in a song, like it would be helpful to know the triads, right? Like at the very least.
Oh God,
like,
yeah. Yeah, because like so many people, you go to like some whatever kind of session, and nobody. I mean, it helps if you know how to curate what people feel.
Yeah.
Whether it be through single note melodies or a chordal voice leading thing that's just like this big old elaborate thing. If you just have this repertoire and this arsenal of where you want to go, where they want to go, and what they want to hear, what you want to hear, or what can contrast and what can create on top of whatever, it just opens up a floodgate of everything creative. Like,
yes. So
you know,
like like having a musical awareness, right? Like being a well-schooled like listener, like you've listened to various styles and you're pulling things into the recording session, right? Based on the things that you are aware of, right? But what music theory does for you, and you can make up your own music theory for that matter, but what it does is it gives
I've definitely met people who've done that.
You know, Holdsworth did that, and Messiaen and other people did that, but like you don't even have to know like the correct terminology, but it knowing the correct music theory terminology can be helpful, because now you can apply a set of terms to these functions, these harmonic functions that happen in the music, and then you could communicate that to the other musicians in the session. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah. And whether they know elaborate things or not,
right.
you know, you bring so much to the table.
And that's what I find to be the most helpful thing of the most helpful aspect of knowing some music theory is being able to communicate with it to other musicians that either know it or don't know it, but being able to say, oh yeah, remember that one thing that happened in that one pop song in the 80s, like that I'm aware of, you know, and you're like, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we did that here, you know, in this track, and it makes the track pop off, right? Like that's what I'm talking about, man.
Dude, I mean, talking about music theory and sessions earlier, talking about that Vertex Effects guy and those videos I was watching, and like, you know, like even session musicians to this day, like, I don't know, you gotta have some idea of what's happening, otherwise you're not going to be called for the gig. Like,
you're juggling a lot of things in those sessions, man. You gotta, and I've been a part of some. I've never recorded on a real high profile record or anything. I'd love to, but I've sat in on some of those sessions, man. And usually it's like one guy that's kind of the genius, you know, or he's the MD, the musical director of the project, and then he basically puts the session together. Like, he calls his 5 favorite guys that he know would be perfect for this one particular session, whether it's a jazz session, an R&B session, or a country music session, or a southern gospel session.
You're in Nashville too, so like the proficiency is very more articulate than it just being like, oh, I know some guy.
These guys, they've done this for years. They're older cats, a lot of them, you know. Rather than tour and play live, you know, they're not going to do that anymore if they're in their 50s and 60s, but they are going to play on sessions, man. And so I sat in on a session with this gentleman named Jason Webb, who if you watch any kind of Christmas concert on TV, he's probably the piano player. Like, you'll see him. I'm trying to think of he just look up Jason Webb music and Jason Webb piano, but this is like a guy that's a jazz improviser on the keyboard and has the technical chops, but then he can play anything, southern gospel, he could play western swing, he can play like on a country track. He's just a brilliant guy. So he had I can't remember the name of the guitar player. I'm really blanking, but he was Reba McEntire's guitar player for a long time. And he brings a combo amp and like basically a giant spaceship pedal board with like Eventide, Strymon, like a little bit of everything. And he was just
the worship rig,
exactly. Like, he brought basically a worship rig, and so you have like all of these different flavors, and like whatever the song requires. He had, I have an H9 preset that works good for that part in the song, you know.
Yeah, he was ready. He's like, I got a Swiss Army knife of like anything you can think of.
He had those Brent Mason style chops, man, like that, the real country. But a lot of what he was doing, man, was upper structure triads on this tune, because you've got a bass player and you've got a piano player. You don't need to play. You're not playing like chords with bass notes at all ever, man. It's all upper structure stuff.
Yeah, dude.
You know.
I mean, it's all music, so it's like get in what you can fit in, kind of thing. You know, like it. You know, sometimes for anybody, sometimes not just guitarists, but guitarists for sure. You know, if you don't hear anything, don't play anything. You know, like shut up. Like, there's a lot of guitarists you don't have to play something against whatever's happening. Just figure out what's good and then go from there. But like till then, you can shut up.
Listen to what's going on around you. Yeah. Well, dude, I know you got to run soon because you've got a gig tonight. But like, man,
working a gig.
Talk to me just quickly about some of your favorite bands, like maybe unknown metal bands, unknown like art bands in Atlanta, because I know you know a lot about that scene. I want to give a shout out to, I think his name is Kurt Metzger, bass player.
Jim Metzger. Jim.
I'm sorry, bro. Jim.
You're good,
player, man.
Jim's awesome. We've known each other for a good minute. We played like shows in South Carolina and like Columbia because he had a solo project called Human Bean Sauce.
Holy shit!
And he had a crazy MIDI setup, playing the crazy shit that he was doing, but doing vocals and just thumping his nuts off and fucking destroying everybody's minds.
Dude, you recently played on a track with him, and I was blown away by that, man. It's like Jazz Meshuggah. Like
I'm still wanting to work on shit with him, dude. He's a wizard, man. Like,
man, he's just got such a unique sound, bro.
It took over a decade for us to even it's mainly him writing this stuff, so I'm under the whim of his time. But he's been just curating all these people that he can, homies from afar, to just work on this music. He got Morgan Agron.
What? He did it to record a track?
Dude. Yeah, dude. Like it's just it kicks my ass. I'm on a song with Morgan Agron just vicariously.
See, that's the thing, man. Like if you love the music and you can actually play it, right? If you've got the sauce, if you got the chops, you can reach out to like I might reach out to Virgil Donati and have him play drums on something. I might not be able to afford it, but like you can always reach out to people.
Hey.
And musicians are accessible, man. You know, the big artists, they might not be as accessible. Even some of the bigger metal bands, they might not be accessible. But most musicians that play in this like prog gent improvised music space, you can collaborate with them. You know, you might have to pay them,
dude.
But
fucking you know Undef.
Yeah.
Like, I think was it subtly hacked a gore song, like opening the record.
Dude, is that the Sugabog chain?
Like the first. Oh yeah, it is.
Dude, that's so hard, man. Sick.
Yeah, I got that shit on. I'm just getting my shit ready tonight. Yeah, I got that shit on tonight. First solo. Speaking of Sugabog, it's fucking Cody doing the guitar solo. If you ever listen to that first record, first song, first solo, that's Cody on drums from Sugabog playing guitar. Cody is a gnarly musician, he's a freak, dude. In that
band. I mean, all those guys are great. Cody's special, man.
Cody is a master, dude. There's videos of him at 17 playing This Dying Soul, like the solo, and his forearm is like fucking like fat, like it's fucking gnarly. But he's an insane musician, and like it's just like if you knew he did that instead of just being the drummer for this band, why not holler at the boy and just be like, hey, want to play on a record? Fuck yeah, dude. That dude shreds next to playing, whatever. Like all these people love music. We all like music. It's just metal is the forte. In the end, we like music. But speaking of music, shout out the fucking Callous Dowboys. That's always my favorite local band.
They're not a local band, man. That band is amazing. they're playing.
Dude, Dowboys.
They're playing the Gidmis in Birmingham the next weekend.
Yeah, they're doing that right now.
Oh, is that?
That's tonight.
Wait.
Yeah, dude, they're doing Gidmis tonight, son.
Apart. So tomorrow is Gidmis in Nashville, and I want to say the next Gidmis.
Oh wait, you know what? No, what it is they're doing the Christmas Burns Red. Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm bummed that I'm gonna miss the Dowboys, but I get to see Amir tomorrow, dude.
Oh man,
I get to see Amir.
Oh my god. No Josh.
Josh. I know. I really want to like interview Frankie, man. How wild would that be to put a Frankie Palmieri interview on this channel?
Man. if you did that,
it's so funny, bro.
Godspeed if you could, man.
I would love to. Like, I guess I just need to hit him up.
Fucking,
yo, dude, let's talk.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, he's a Twitter message away, probably. Fucking Dowboys is always a sick one. You know what's also big shout out to this one particular progressive death metal. It's a progressive death metal, but maybe it was some like funeral doom stuff. Tomarum.
Okay.
Incredible band. Holy hell. Between the two guitar, well, everybody that plays in that band is brutally phenomenal. Like they have 3 guitarists for this elaborate ass music. The third guitarist, Matthew, he used to also play in another band with the other guitarist. I just, the point is, this band is like brutally incestuous when it comes to the tantamount of body of music that they have. The guitarist he plays in he plays in a lot of bands, but he plays in Theurgy, which is this other death metal band that's insanely fucking wild, that has like members of like Anal Stab Wound, if you ever listen to that band.
I'm aware of them, but I haven't listened yet.
Dude, Anal Stab Wound, as crazy as that name is, hilariously tech, brutally, like, just they're on the same level as, like, if you ever listen to Nithing, like Matthew Kilner's band, like his like solo project, oh my god. Anal Stab Wound is the same thing. That Nikhil dude is like beyond, like that kid is insane. That's why he's in Berkeley right now, killing right now. But Tomarum, between Kyle and this other dude Brandon, they both are like the most monstrous forces of death metal in the Southeast that nobody really, I feel like, knows too well unless you know them.
Tomarum.
Give me let me check real quick. Give me 1 second.
I can I can drop the link in the description box. We'll give Sen'am's Rex in the bottom.
Tomarum.
Tomarum. Okay. Sick. Dude.
Tomarum. Yeah. Tomarum, another band that I also homies, fucking love them dearly. Malevich, awesome band, really awesome band. Also another they're like I think it's like a grind, kind of with a lot of their more recent records, a lot more like ambient with like some melodic, a lot more melodic elements, but it's mainly just like a blackened grind kind of thing going on. But really sick. Another band called Apostle that's also in that like heavy as hell realm that I really fuck with. Geez, I don't know. Actually, tonight's a bunch of local bands I'm about to work for tonight. I actually probably should get my Uber.
You got to get rolling
right now.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We'll do a longer one in the.
But yeah, there's a. Yeah, please, let's do this again. I would love to fucking just talk all that shit because there's too much to talk about.
Heck yeah, man.
But hopefully this, I'm glad to be a part of this. This is really fucking sick. Hopefully there's more to come.
Before Christmas, man. We've got some other interviews coming up. Of course, we had Angel Maker, Matt Perrin, that came out today.
Oh, dude, that's the homie.
He's
Fuck yeah,
player,
that's dude,
great
awesome
guy. We're gonna be talking to the guys in Chamber, this week, and then another band called Officer Down, kind of a new heavy hardcore band.
Yo, Officer Down.
Yeah, dude. They're sick. I'm gonna be talking with Oscar.
Yo, yeah.
So, because I'll be at Gidmas tomorrow, so probably by the time you guys see this, those interviews will be dropping soon too. So, yo, thanks for listening to Shred Sessions. Sen'am, thanks for hanging, and have a great time at the gig tonight, man.
You already fucking know.
All right, dude. Peace.